Our exclusive interview with Wendy Williams, talking to TJ about her reported health troubles and the end of her show.
Health is very well. I have the mind and body of a 25-year-old. They say that I need somebody to handle my account, and I don't want that. Give me about 3 months. There are private things that I have to deal with. Keep watching, because I'm going to be back on the Wendy show, bigger and brighter than ever.
Wendy Williams' son says that she's near death. Her health has declined and her team is isolating her. They are allowing her to drink alcohol again and doing sketchy things with her money. So let's get into it. We've been worried about Wendy Williams for a while now, but it's time to step it up. I mean, look at this headline. Wendy Williams' son breaks silence. Fears mother is near death. This is a very scary situation. It reminds me of Britney Spears, and now we've got Wendy's son going to the media and claiming that she's not doing well and she's not getting better. He did an exclusive interview with the son, claiming that Wendy's inner circle is taking advantage of her battle with alcoholism and her wealth. Since being placed under a guardianship in 2020, Wendy's son Kevin was quoted saying, "I know there are all sorts of things happening that I know in her right mind she would never agree to. As hard as it is seeing her being taken advantage of, I know that I'm making sure she as a person is okay. That is the important thing, because eventually she's going to realize the craziness that's been going on." At this point, we hope that she has time to realize the craziness, because these people are doing a lot of damage. It wasn't long ago where we saw Wendy out and about bar hopping in April, and she appeared to be drunk. She was talking about a bunch of opportunities coming her way, a new television show, a new podcast, but we haven't seen really anything come to fruition. Kevin noted that his mom's team has completely given up on her well-being and often gives her the green light to drink. Here's a random clip of Wendy out and about.
I'm going. Somebody help me.
I help you. We need help, you know?
No.
Okay.
Now, this is where things get sketchy. You guys may remember that Wendy and her manager, who she had for a very long time, they had a falling out. So she has a new manager who was once her jeweler. His name is Will Selby. Anyways, last month, Wendy Williams was reportedly hospitalized in New York, with Kevin Hunter claiming that he wasn't contacted. And that's pretty messed up that none of her team members would think to reach out to her son. Kevin said that Wendy's jeweler turned manager, Will, eventually contacted him to tell him that his mother was in the hospital. And he claimed it was the first time he heard from Will in several months. But then we've got Will and Kevin claiming that Wendy was in the hospital. But then at the same time, we've got another team member of hers saying that she wasn't in the hospital. Her publicist, Sean, put out a statement claiming that Wendy is not hospitalized. This article came out on May 20th, 2023. And it's interesting, this timing, because Wendy's not in the hospital, but there are reports that she's not doing well. And the reason we know this is because she was supposed to appear at a speaking engagement on that same day, that May 20th day. She was going to get paid $25,000 to speak there, which is a lot of money. This is something I keep just finding myself stuck on, is that we've got half her team saying that she never went to the hospital. We've got another half her team saying that she did go to the hospital. And then there are reports that she's fine, but then she's not doing well enough to appear at this speaking event. Kevin Hunter now believes profits are being prioritized over Wendy's well-being. Quote, "What's been made more important by the people around her is that while her health may not be great, she needs to keep on earning income. And in my opinion, that should not be a priority at all. And whoever has been hired, they are taking advantage of someone who needs to get better." And it has to be really difficult for him to watch his mother fall apart and then assume that these lawyers, these managers, these publicists all have her best intentions, but they really don't. They're just going to keep milking her until they break her. I mean, she doesn't even have the access to her money any longer. She really doesn't have any citizen rights because she is in this guardianship. Kevin noticed a rapid decline in her health while she lived with him in Florida from late 2021 until spring 2022, coupled with the potentially fatal effects of her alcoholism, which led her to spending 3 months in rehab. Kevin continued to slam Wendy's manager.
But he does emphasize that he's concerned with the people that are around Wendy, even referring to her new manager, Will Selby, as, quote, the jeweler, because you may recall Will Selby was Wendy Williams' jeweler turned now manager. Kevin Jr. said this to The Sun. He says, I know there are all sorts of things happening that I know in her right mind she would never agree to.
I would love to see this Will Selby's credentials because Wendy Williams is a big star. So it seems like he just hopped on the opportunity opposed to being a well-rounded manager. Kevin Hunter added, quote, I feel like when it comes to people wanting to, quote, help her, a lot of it is coming from a stance of, okay, she's alone now. You guys know she is divorced from his father, Kevin Hunter Sr. Let's try to see how we can make her act the way we want her to act, or if we can kind of control the rate at which she's handling herself. I have to agree with her son Kevin because it doesn't really seem like her team truly cares. They're trying to force all these crazy projects onto her. I guess there was going to be an unscripted show, like maybe a reality show, and Will actually reached out to Kevin Jr. and asked him to be a part of this show, this project. Quote, the jeweler reached out to me last year and he basically said, we are planning on this project being a way that we would tell the public about what's happening, and I was opposed to it. I felt like, and I still feel like, she shouldn't be doing anything that involves putting herself in front of the camera. The 22-year-old college student had always been supported financially by his mother and had in large part lost that support when her financial affairs were taken over by her guardian, Sabrina. Now, you guys know how I feel about conservatorships and guardianships. I just don't like them. It's like, it's a legal agreement to where someone takes pretty much all of your rights and controls your life. And I don't think that's appropriate for anyone who doesn't truly need it. And I think it's clear that Wendy does not need this, but these business people want to, make her work, make more money. So they're trying to convince her that she does need it. Kevin claims because he's not receiving money from his mother anymore, it's been hard. And he has been fighting in court to get some money, which I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, he does share that for this secret project, they offered him $25,000 to appear and an executive producer credit. And even with those things, he said no, because he doesn't think that she needs to be on camera being an alcoholic and embarrassing herself. Will was asked about Kevin Hunter's interview, and this is what he had to say. No comment, because half of this stuff isn't even true. Majority of this is false. When asked for further clarification, Will insisted that he saw Kevin and spoke to him in April in Miami. Quote, I was in Miami with Kevin. I forced him to have a conversation because he seemed a little disgruntled. I spoke to him face to face. I was like, if there's a problem, let's talk. If there's an issue, let's have a conversation. And I'm sure Will would love to have a conversation, because if these people are exploiting Wendy Williams, they want to keep everyone around her family, quiet and happy and okay, so they don't expose what they're actually doing. I never want to shame anybody, but in terms of asking if that person is there so that my mom can be the healthiest person and have a long career, stuff like that, they aren't in it for that. They are just there for the here and now. But let's go ahead and talk about Wendy's guardian, Sabrina, because Kevin Hunter Jr. feels like Sabrina is getting paid off by Will, and that's why she's trying to keep the family out. In regards to the financial aspect of Wendy's guardianship, Hunter feels that Sabrina is purposely being reluctant with information and updates. However, he feels hopeful that him speaking out will lead to Wendy getting the help she needs. Keep in mind that Sabrina found herself in this position because Wells Fargo was worried that Wendy was a victim of financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence, which none of it was really proven. I feel like now this is what's happening. I did look up Sabrina, and this is what Google pulls up. It looks like they are a standard lawyer, an estate lawyer. And I found this interesting interview from 2 years ago. Perhaps the slowest and least responsive professional I've encountered in any industry. Owes me several thousands of dollars of conclusion of a transaction, and after 11 days of no response or whatsoever, they reply and say that, "Get back to me next month sometime," and states how busy they are with their client work. So it sounds like the whole firm is sketchy, and personally I wouldn't be surprised if there is something going on under the table between this firm and Wendy's manager.
According to Kevin, he is suspicious of Sabrina Morrissey, who is the financial guardian over the money. He even alludes that he believes that she might be receiving something on the side from Will Selby. Kevin Jr. says this about Sabrina. He says, "I don't feel like Sabrina has done a great job at all. I think that based on her actions, I'd have to assume something is going on that she's not telling me, whether it be that she's receiving income on the side or what, but there is a lot of her pushing away of myself and everybody down here in Florida, his family, and saying that she's not giving updates. She's really vague with updates." So as you may recall, since the financial guardian has been put in place, his father, Kelvin Hunter, has been fighting to have his severance and alimony put back into place. He's been fighting that in court. And so has Kevin Hunter. He's also not received anything from Wendy's estate at this point.
Wendy Williams' ex-husband shouldn't get a dime of her money. He's already taken so much of it. And keep in mind, he cheated on her, had an entire affair, bought a house for the woman, had a child with the woman, and now he still feels entitled to her money. Really? Kevin concluded, "I think that it's best for her to have to prioritize her health first. Nobody around her will tell her this, but she doesn't have to be working. She needs to take a break from trying to progress her career and be proud of what she's accomplished."
Kevin also said, he said, "What's made it more important by the people around her is that while her health may not be great, she needs to keep on earning income. And in my opinion, that should not be the priority at all. And whoever has been hired, they are taking advantage of someone who needs to get better."
Kevin also clarified, "I don't want any of this to come across that I'm mad at anyone. They don't know the situation fully, and there are times when she does talk that she may sound coherent enough, and they may think, okay, she just wants to have fun. And for that reason, I will never have hate, even with the hired help. Everyone is just trying to take care of themselves. It is what it is." And I don't think that Kevin Hunter is trying to operate in a nasty way. I mean, he knows what his mom is into. He's seen her career throughout his life. I don't think he wants to add more drama or bad media or bad press. I think he's genuinely worried because he's seen a switch. He was quoted saying, "In terms of what it is and what it isn't, when she was with me, staying with him in Florida, none of these articles of her not looking well ever came out. When she got dragged back to New York City after the court hearings, that started happening. And from that perspective, something has gone wrong." We're going to send prayers to Wendy and her family and her son, and I really hope that she's okay, because near death, that's a really dramatic way to describe her situation, and it could be fully true. It could be to this point. I mean, she hasn't been looking well out and about. You must admit this. So we really do hope that, some healing energy goes her way. But here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.